You found Radio Free Tennessee. Your Tony Basilio show will begin momentarily. Keep it locked in right here at TonyBasilio.com and on your Tony Basilio app. And hey, do us a favor. Spread the word. Another award-winning, thought-provoking, action-packed edition of the Tony Basilio Show is coming up next. Tips are always appreciated here at TonyBasilio.com, home of the Tony Basilio Show. You found the Tony Basilio stream at TonyBasilio.com or on your smartphone or tablet. Another thrilling, chilling, and sometimes spilling edition of the Basilio Show is on the way next. Tips are always appreciated here at TonyBasilio.com.
You're listening to FM 105.7 and AM 1340, WKGN Knoxville, and W289CU Knoxville, Fan Run Radio.
Just a really, really sad day as we welcome you in. Sad stuff. Sad stuff. You know, you don't even know what to say when things like that happen. You just... Those of you listening outside the area and haven't heard, we lost one of our own in the local Tennessee press corps scene and community. And really just a kind of an all-around sweet guy, really, Wes Rucker. And just kind of happened quickly yesterday on the highway. So today's show dedicated in his memory and his honor, and oh man, we had a chance to work with him. Brian and I, back at the Tennessee Sports Radio days, back in the old J-Bay days, when Wes did a show following us, and we would throw it to him in the middle of the afternoon. And Brian, you would interact with him all the time there, and that just rips your heart out, man. Rips your heart out. Bino, we've been doing too much of this lately, haven't we, brother?
Amen to that, Tony. It's just tragic news. Really heartbroken for his young family, for all of his family and his friends. I was a weekend guy back in those days when you were Saturday guy back in those days when you were working with Wes. I didn't get the privilege of meeting him, but know of his work, appreciate his work. And as you say, Tony, there's just nothing to say. I guess the only thing that you can say is just love your family and your friends. Let them know. Do all the good you can for all you can while you can, because this is just a temporary dwelling place for us.
Yeah, it's I'm not a good sleeper anyway, but like last night it was just so disturbing, trying to get that out of my mind. But you know, at the end of the day, I just hurt for, like you're talking about, his wife, his children. A friend of mine last night, his father died real young, and he was telling me, he said, you know, stuff like that, when it happens, he was like, before he was 10 years old, and he said, he's an adult now. He said, it just immediately, I go to that spot, you know. So here we are. It's a Friday. We dedicate today's show. If somebody wants to share the GoFundMe account, like over on our Twitter page, we'll put it up. And I'll post it on the blog as well. You know, in the Knoxville media thing, we're kind of all in this love together, you know? So, got really, really, really hurt for his wife and all of his loved ones and friends in the area, and he's from a local family, and just praise God for us getting a chance to be here together every day.
Amen.
And the sport thing is such a fun, and Wes, I guess the last thing he tweeted looking at it was about the women's hockey game yesterday. He was just a guy that loved every sport. Loved it. And loved being a part of it. Loved being a part of it so much that we used to kind of tease about it on the air, about how much he would tweet and live on Twitter and all that stuff. Just hard to comprehend. But you know, Wes, if he were here, he'd say, "Hey, man, talk about that great sports weekend. Celebrate the great sports weekend. Celebrate, you know, what's going to happen here," which is what we do in our corner of the world. And here we go. Tennessee basketball's got a huge game tomorrow with Vanderbilt. That Vanderbilt team's going in the wrong direction. Tennessee's playing well. One of the things we were talking about in the aftermath of the Oklahoma game is one of the great aspects of playing in a league like the Southeastern Conference, maybe to some extent the Big 12, maybe to some extent the ACC, and also the major leagues up there in the Big 18, is that you get stretched and you see all different types of teams and you get in all kinds of environments. That said, I'm not sure there's an environment like Vanderbilt in the country. And I'm not trying to glaze the Vandy fan, but y'all have an arena that ought to be illegal. It ought to be illegal. Make it a crime to be out in the cold. A little bit of Barbra Streisand there. But, that's not a bad jam right there. You got nothing to be guilty of. That's not a bad jam. Guilty that Barry Gibb wrote for her and sung with her. You're trying to crack, but that's not a bad jam right there, Bino. An adult contemporary jam from back in the day with Babs.
I'm not cracking at all, Tony. I'd have to hear it to remember.
Because you got nothing to be guilty of. I love climbing any mountain. That's a great jam,
Oh,
Bino.
yeah. Okay.
That's a great jam. That's a great jam.
I don't know about great.
Bino, I cannot take, for the life of me, that stadium down there. That awful stadium. Even though we did a bus trip there one year. Bri, were you on our bus trip that one year when, I think it was during the Buzz Peterson years?
I think so.
I think it was a Buzzball Patrol. We went down on a Saturday night and watched the Vols win.
Yeah. We were all hoping that was going to vault us into the NIT.
And
it did not.
Into the NCAA tournament. That's right.
No, NIT, I think, wasn't it?
Brian, you and I were talking about this Lady Vol thing last night, this mess that Danny White's created. And he has
to be fair, Danny White did not want to make a change when Kelly, after that season, it was the NIL folks that he wanted to get money from, did not want to put any more behind Kelly. Because they were out on her.
Who's going to put money behind this? All right, so here's my cautionary tale for the Negadaves of the world and some of you that can't wait for the Rick Barnes era to be over with. Look at that Lady Vol program. In their sport, they got tons of money. They got tons of resources. But they don't have tons of win, and they're not having tons of fun.
They might miss the tournament, Tone.
And
they've never missed an NCAA tournament, ever.
We were talking about it yesterday, Brian, because we were assuming they were winning last night. I called Brian and I said, Brian, they're down 20 right now. Because I'm telling you,
they were a 21-point favorite last night.
I watched the press conference last night. I mean, I'm engaged in that product, what she's doing. I've never seen a team walk down the floor like her team does after giving up a buck. I'd love for you to watch a game. Because I know Shino doesn't watch women's ball, Bino, but she would. Laura and I last night were watching that. Laura goes, they're not even trying at one point. It's like, what? Cautionary tale, okay? To all you who can't wait to get rid of, and Grant in Birmingham's right. You can't wait to get rid of Rick Barnes because you're myopic and you only see here. We took a bus trip, okay? Saturday night in Atlanta. I swear that was Jackson Brown sitting right across from us. Some really old musician guy. During the Buzz Peterson years, a musician looking dude. Looked just like Jackson Brown. I wanted to walk up to him so bad and go, are you Jackson Brown? Hey, Bino, we could easily be back in buzzball.
Yes, Tony, we certainly could. It's, people can think what they want. They can covet the coach that they want. I understand Barnes's style isn't for everyone. I understand all of that. The only thing I've ever said is just a word of caution. Be careful what you wish for.
Yep. And all the Caldwell Stormers out there, you might get your wish, Bry, right? All the Caldwell Stormers out there. We got the Barnes Stormers, now we got the Caldwell Stormers, Bry. Bry, if she misses a tournament, what are they going to do here? Or even if they scrape in. They've lost like 3 games in 5 days. Bry, that's Lady Ball basketball? 3 losses in 5 days?
What might be their saving grace is just the name, the Lady Vol name in itself. They might get the benefit of the doubt. But I don't think if you're them, you want to count on that. But that is possible.
Brian, they might close the season losing 6 in a row. After like a 6-0 start in the league. That just doesn't seem possible. Bino, are you concerned about tomorrow? Vanderbilt's going the wrong way. Vanderbilt's got a kid, Frankie Collins, who, first of all, Frankie Collins is a next-level name. That sounds like a guy that should have been playing bass in an R&B funk group back in the day. Frankie Collins on bass. And there's some funk around him right now because apparently he's been ready to play for a few weeks, and he won't. And yesterday, we had our guy from Southeast 16 on, and he basically said, yeah, the kid got to the 9-game point, and he's going to redshirt and take his money next year. Bino, if that was the case, and I thought that as a coach, I would kick him off my team so quickly, and I would claw back every dollar I paid him this year if he played 9 games and just sat there and acted like he was hurt.
Yeah, absolutely, Tony. I don't know how you do it or how you prove it. But, yeah, Tony, I'm the wrong guy to ask about this game at that place.
Yep.
I have a hatred for Vanderbilt basketball that is every bit the equal of my hatred for Kentucky basketball. Only I respect Kentucky's basketball program a lot more than I do Vandy's, but I have the worst case of BBS when we're playing down there of anybody alive, because in that little disconfigured hellhole
that's
that
right.
they call a gymnasium
that's
down
right.
there,
That's right.
I expect them to shoot the lights out.
Yes.
I expect them to shoot 40 free throws, and I expect them to eke out a win down there.
And the Miles kid, Bry, hasn't played in weeks. Does he come back? Because they listed him out for Oklahoma. Have you seen the report, Bry, the progress report, the injury report?
No, I have not.
I guess we should gander at
around.
it. Yeah, I guess we should gander at it. All right, let's come back on the other side. Hughie will come back. We'll set up this big sports weekend. I want to talk to Hughie as well about this Big Ten playoff thing that's kind of making the rounds. And Thrody wrote a nice little analysis of Tennessee's new defensive coordinator and what he's hearing inside the building, which is that he's providing some juice. Internally, we needed some juice. Who did we have on a couple days ago talking about? They were talking about one of the coaches that's been highly successful and said that, they just got rid of some coaches just to freshen things up. It was earlier in the week, Bryce, somebody we were interviewing, and it's all blurring me right now after yesterday. But Josh Heupel needed to make changes a while ago. I hope it's for him. I hope it's not too late. I really do. I hope it's not. But he needed to make changes a while ago. And Thrody said that his information is this guy's provided a jolt for Tennessee internally. Good. a veteran coach as well, they didn't really have a relationship with, can look him in the eye and say, man, why did you do that? Josh Heupel needs that. Beanstar, he needs that on his staff, doesn't he?
I think everybody needs that, Tony.
I agree. Bino will say to me sometimes, what are you doing? Get your head out your rectum, man. Mike Huguenin on the other side right after this. It's beautiful.
It's the hottest post-game show on the planet. Garza Law. Fifth quarter fan reaction. Fan reaction. As soon as the final gun sounds, we're live.
When it's time for a fresh coat of paint, run, don't walk to Walker's Painting. Interior and exterior, Walker's Painting's been making it beautiful since 1999 across the Knoxville area. New construction, repaints, commercial, residential, free estimates available. And get this, mention you heard Walker's Painting on the Basilio show, 10% off your first job. Let's go! Run, don't walk to Walker's Painting. 865-688-1410. That's 865-688-1410. Walker's Painting, making it beautiful since 1999. Check out the ad at the blog at tclub.team. Walker's Painting.
Hi, I'm Jim Simpson, owner of Simpson Meats. When's the last time you grilled a really good burger or steak? One your friends still talk about. Our goal at Simpson Meats is to make that happen every time you have a cookout. All of our cuts of meats, steaks, burgers, briskets, and pork are always fresh, flavorful, and sustainably sourced. We are family owned, so we know the importance of knowing how and where your food is raised. We have been putting quality first since 1888. Visit our butcher shop off Lovell Road or online at simpsonmeats.com.
Okay, so we really need uniforms and equipment for this season. Can I trust you with that? Cool, I'll just order them online. What? Yeah, I'm gonna hop online and I'm gonna get them ordered. Hold up, that's not a good idea. We shouldn't just spend money on some random online retailer, okay? I mean, it seems pretty convenient. Trust me, it's a terrible idea. Let me simplify this for you. SM Athletics. Okay, how do you pronounce it? SM Athletics? They're the go-to for uniforms and equipment, whether it's for universities, high schools, youth leagues, you name it. So why wouldn't you rather go with professionals who can guide us through the process, design the perfect uniforms, and deliver the best equipment? Yeah, I guess that makes sense. What's the name again? SM Athletics. Right. It's definitely smarter to go with a company that emphasizes customer service, fair pricing, and, of course, excellent products. Exactly. So, yeah, I guess it's settled then. For uniforms and equipment for all sports, it's SM Athletics.
When a dangerous, overgrown, or storm-damaged tree is threatening your home, your car, or your family, don't risk it. Call ECR Total Landscapes, your local tree-cutting experts. From precision tree removal and trimming to emergency storm cleanup, ECR Total Landscapes has the equipment and the experience to get the job done safely and efficiently. Call today to set up your free estimate, 865-384-2012, or just go online to ecrtotallandscapes.com.
Josh Collins at Collins Insurance Agency. At Collins Insurance, we strive to ensure our customers receive better coverage along with bigger savings. Our community is important to us. We want to provide exceptional service to our customers. Anybody can provide great rates, great coverage, but can you also get great service? And hey, don't just take my word for it.
What's up, everybody? Zakai Ziegler here. My family turns to Collins Insurance Agency for the best service, coverage, and price.
So don't just go online and get some random insurance. Experience the Collins Insurance difference.
Like he said, experience the Collins Insurance difference. CollinsInsuranceTN.com. CollinsInsuranceTN.com. And hey, their Mama Zizi approved. CollinsInsuranceTN.com. Thank you to Josh Collins and Zizi.
One more thing, Tony. Go Vols!
Newsflash, Basilio listeners, the spring real estate market just moved up. Yes, it's chilly outside and you're still in your puffy coat, but if you need to sell your East Tennessee property, you could be the hottest house on the block. Hi there, Jennifer Morris here with Keller Williams Realty. February is the sweetheart month of real estate, and savvy sellers know exactly what that means. Get ahead of the game and give me a call at 865-694-5904 or reach out at nextmovesmokymountains.com. That's nextmovesmokymountains.com, and go Vols!
Yeehaw! I've been hooting and hollering ever since I started betting with the VIP Play app. VIP Play has more than 200 leagues, every bet type you can imagine, live betting and live hosts, all with 24/7 support from real live people when you need them. Start betting better with the VIP Play app today.
Don't be a better with VIP Play today.
VIP Play coming soon. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-889-9789. Must be 21 plus and located in Tennessee to bet.
Chilio here, and my friends at Carnes Motor Company started with a dream over a quarter century ago. I met Rob and Brian back when I still had hair, and they were working at a huge dealership in West Knoxville. But they told me back then they wanted to sell cars on their terms, and I wanted to do radio on my terms. Their terms, just like my terms, are ultimately your terms. In both cases, you're the winner. A Car Guru's National Award winner with a 5-star rating on all sites, just like our Vols. Everything about buying a car from Carnes Motor Company is no hassle. They specialize in high-quality pre-owned vehicles between the $5,000 to $25,000 range. And if you need to sell a car, they'll either buy your car or they'll help you sell it. Carnes Motor Company also has a top-notch service department. Therefore, every vehicle is rigorously inspected and serviced prior to delivery. So you're guaranteed to get a quality pre-owned vehicle every time. If you need a place for service, they've got you covered. Come be a part of the Carnes Motor Company family and tell them you heard about it from me. Online at carnesmotor.com, Oak Ridge Highway, 1 mile past the Carnes light. Carnes Motor Company. You will bow thy head when you say thy name, because the great Mike Huguenin, ladies and gentlemen, is presented by our friends at Gouffon Moving and Storage, and they've been making it happen over several generations. And I bow thy head when I say thy name at Gouffon Moving and Storage. As Hughie now joins, ladies and gentlemen, the great Mike Huguenin on a Friday, and Hughie, as I welcome you in against the backdrop, brother, that Wednesday, let me set the scene for you. We were on after the Oklahoma game, and I had Maury Hank, Super Scooper Scout with the Stars, on our post game, who's been an NBA scout for years and years and years. We're talking about Nate Ament coming into his own and how the game's slowing down for him, but it was like watching fireworks explode in the sky in that second TV window the other night, Hughie. All that incredible action that was going on, that overtime game with Arkansas and Alabama, all that incredible, the kid at Mississippi State going off on Stephen F. and Pearl, all this incredible stuff. That's the Bonza guy on the big stage with Arizona. Just one great performance after another. Hughie, college basketball right now is on a roll, my man. It's on a roll.
It is, and the performance by Acuff, 49 points. He played all 50 minutes. Philon played exceedingly well for Alabama. That was a wild game, not a lot of defense. DeBonsa he's an extremely talented player. Josh Hubbard lighting up. I think he hit 9 3-pointers in the first half against Auburn.
Yes.
And it's the Auburn irony, Bruce Pearl retires late, so he knows his son is going to get the job, but Auburn's not making the NCAA tournament. They're not that good. I don't think their coaching is that good. But Darren Peterson, the idea that he plays 19 minutes, scores 23 points, and turns to Bill Self and says, I'm cramping, so he comes out and doesn't play anymore, which is a lingering concern for him. Cameron Boozer at Duke is just a phenomenal player. Michigan looks to be on a different level than everybody else. UConn loses at home to Creighton. There's a lot of wild stuff going on in college basketball. It's exceedingly entertaining. Most seasons are, but this season is really, really, really phenomenal.
Bino, do you find the fact that this freshman class is so replete with stars? Like we were going through a list of guys yesterday and there was a list at ESPN. They had Nate Ament ranked 9. And when you go through the list, like it's kind of hard to argue with it. Like the great young player at Alabama who we've seen, the kid at Arkansas that Hughie was just talking about, this DeBonza guy's a freak. The Boozer guy we saw earlier in the year. I mean, the list goes on and on. No wonder, Bino, they're calling this thing like for NBA draft purposes. The Sacramento Kings have already shut down with 20 games to go. They've already shut down 2 of their top players because they're trying to position themselves to get in the middle of that thing. It's crazy how good this class is, Beanstar.
Yeah, it really is, Tony. And there's, with the exception of Boozer, I think and maybe the kid at BYU, I think the rest are close enough to where you can fall pretty much anywhere in that top 10 and get a really good basketball player with your first pick.
Yeah, and that's really an amazing thing. But as a couple people have pointed out to me, Hughie, because I'm not real bright, but what this, and you know that, Hughie, you can vouch for that. What is an accurate thing to say is, though, this tournament coming up, because of all these star players, the tournament's always great. Hughie, man, we're going to have real live, living, breathing stars in this tourney this year. And it's going to be star on star as we go through that deal. Do you understand how unbelievable it is going to be?
There is a incredibly deep group of freshmen. We didn't mention Keaton Wagler, the kid in Illinois.
Yes.
Kingston Flemings at Houston.
Great player.
He might be the best offensive player Kelvin Sampson has ever recruited. But you also got 22-year-old seniors who have been around for 5 years who are in college basketball because of NIL. So, and you got a couple teams with guys who are getting good at NIL money, and they're veterans. So in some cases, it's going to be an 18 or 19-year-old freshman being guarded by a 22 or 23-year-old senior who in years past would be in the G League or playing overseas or, being a fringe guy on an NBA bench. Instead, they're still in college basketball. So this is the SEC race is extremely interesting. The Big Ten race, extremely interesting for second because Michigan's going to win. The Big 12 race is phenomenal. The ACC race is interesting because Virginia's only 1 game behind Duke. But there's a lot of high-level teams this year, along with just a boatload of high-level freshmen. And I think that the freshmen, do they shine when the spotlight is brightest? Can they take the pressure? All that kind of stuff. But the intriguing mix of freshmen going against veteran guards and veteran big men is going to be going to make for a lot of really good NCAA tournament games.
Bino, I find myself right now with these star players, I find myself watching more college basketball than I have recently. I find the game more compelling right now, Beanstar.
Yeah, Tony, I find myself being less regional than I generally am in college basketball.
That's a good way of putting it. It's a really good way of putting it. Because now hey, that guy's a star. That's a star over there. Kid at North Carolina before he got hurt, that's a good player. You got this guy over here.
Phenomenal year, yeah, until he gets hurt.
It's unbelievable. Yeah. And to your point, Hughie, because some people don't like the fact that these sports are getting older, but the fact that basketball's gotten older now, used to be you couldn't wait to start your career, even if you were a European player, and go over and get that check. Whether you were now, what you make in Europe, what you make in major college basketball puts what you would make in Europe to shame for the most part. So you want to hang on in college hoops now, Hughie. That's the new thing. In fact, there's some chatter that this kid, one of the kids that's been out, one of Vandy's key players after their great start, the Collins kid, there's chatter around their program that he played 9 games and said, that's it for me, because he wants to save himself so he can get another year next year and get back in line for some more money. Isn't that wild?
It would be his 5th school.
Fifth school.
He's already played at 4 schools.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
That's I guess the trade-off, the idea that, oh my God, he's going to be on his 5th school. The trade-off as a fan is, that's fine with me because he's a better player and it makes for better games.
Yep.
And I think college football was the same way this past season. You got veteran guys who have been around for a while. You're not counting on, second-year sophomores. You're counting on fifth- and sixth-year seniors. And that generally makes for better games. And I think basketball, that definitely shows up. Iowa State's got 4 upperclassmen starting. I don't think that would have been the case 5 years ago.
Hey, Hughie, do you buy the criticism that Peterson kid from Kansas pulls himself out of games and it's like him and his team, they're kind of like load managing him this year? Do you buy that? That's been a criticism.
Pull himself out. I think Bill Self, with some of the stuff he said after the game, was a little bit surprised. I think the idea, he's missed, I think, 8 games totally.
Yep.
I don't think he's played more than 28 minutes in any game. Often has minor injuries. Well, is the Kansas medical staff just horrible? Is the kid soft? Is the kid injury prone? And now it starts to come out. He played at 3 high schools in his last 3 years of high school basketball. He was hurt often in high school, took himself out of games with a lot of minor injuries. I think the thing is, is he just saving himself for the NBA and that big payroll, or is he getting bad ideas from his handlers, or is the kid soft? And the idea, one thing that has always struck me about pro sports, I don't care what sport it is, if a dude is injury prone, I don't see how giving somebody like that $100 million is going to make him non-injury prone. So basically, you're an NBA team who's, if you draft him first or second or third, you're putting he's the face of our rebuild. Does he become Zion Williamson? And you're stuck in purgatory. So I think there's going to be, and there was a story on The Athletic today about how NBA scouts say, well, he's extremely talented. All this stuff doesn't bother us. And I'm thinking, it might not bother a scout. It might bother a GM.
Well, you know what, though, Hughie? There's never been a league in the history of the world where more guys get paid more money to sit around and watch other people play basketball than in that league. That is a way of life in the NBA. There are more people at the end of benches making incredible amounts of money that have been shipped off as cap casualties at the deadline. They just ship them around. They toss them around, because they have to write their books. That's a thing in that league. So yeah, from that perspective, and all the load management, the unprofessional load management where they don't give their ticket buyers their money's worth night in and night out. Why anybody would pay good money to go watch an NBA game? Because you're not going to see stars. You're only going to see stars if they feel like playing. I find that to be a highly unrespectable professional sport, the modern day NBA. I find it very off-putting how unprofessional it is.
I watch NBA playoffs because I think there's playoff basketball is awesome.
It's great.
But the idea, I think Adam Silver agrees with you because he spent the last month talking about tanking.
Yep.
But I guess that sort of falls into, if you're a team that's tanking to be bad because this draft class is so awesome, and it is,
yeah, you
tank and then draft Darren Peterson and watch him play 58 games a year.
Mm-hmm. And don't be surprised when he does it. And when he has a hangnail, don't be surprised. To your point, Hughie, whoever takes him, that's like a guy that you'd say, hey, I'm in love with her. Okay, yeah, you're in love with. Well, understand this: she's been around the block a time or 30. You don't have the heart to tell somebody that, but you want to pull a friend aside and go, hey, by the way, you're in love. She's in love with every guy that walks. So you go have some fun, man. But don't make her your first-round draft pick. And it's kind of the same thing. It's like buyer beware here. Hey, Hughie, let me ask you something. because we're watching a star be born here, and it's sort of amazing to watch us. This Nate Ament guy has been phenomenal over the last 6 weeks. I'm talking like the lights are on and everybody's home. And, man, every time he gets on the floor, we're having a party. What is your sense of Nate Ament right now?
See, the SEC has got some good players, but, I mean, this kid, his upside is exceedingly high. I don't think he'll be back at Tennessee next year. I know Acuff is good, Philon's good, the Tanner kid at Vandy's good, but Ament, 6'10", 210, I think he could stand to gain a few pounds, but he's extremely mobile for a guy that tall. Got a really nice shooting stroke. Doesn't shy away from big moments. He's an exceedingly talented kid. And you said he's coming on strong. I think it's 6 games in his last 7 with at least 20. Pretty solid rebounder. Great from the free throw line. Doesn't take a lot of bad shots. He's just he's a fun player to watch as well.
Yeah, he's a very fun player to watch. Bino, I was asking, when it's all said and done, where is he going to be in the pantheon of all-time greats to have played here? He literally has been that good. Kind of like Connect was, Bino. Those guys are that good that you have to recognize that they're historically good at your program. They're one-year guys, but they're historically good here, Beanstar.
Yeah, I mean, just to be thought of anywhere close to that category when you've only been here 1 year, Tony, just shows the type of performer that you are out there. You have to be exceptional to have any long-term memory of your time here when you only spend 1 year on the roster.
Yes.
Hey, Mike, Matt Dixon, who's a Basilio Radio family stalwart, mentioned something on post-game the other day that bothers me a little bit as a guy who absolutely loves the tournament. Because of the transfer portal, are the days of the mid-major making any kind of run in this tournament basically over?
I've been talking about with a couple of friends of mine who are not in journalism but are big college basketball fans, and I think it's the case of if you have a bunch of role players who are veterans and a young star at the mid-major level, maybe you can win a game. But I think that we all agreed at least that, a run like George Mason made or Loyola made, we think those have gone by the wayside. But to flip, I still think there's a potential because some coaches, they don't get their teams to play all that well in the tournament. There's always a Power 5 team that is overrated and is seeded too high, and the mid-major plays them in the first round. So I think the potential exists for 1 or 2 wins, but a Final Four run I think is out because you're right. If you're a mid-major one team that's interesting this year is St. Louis because their best player is a senior, the Robbie Avila kid. I think that's going to be exceedingly rare going forward, and he's there because he followed the coach and thinks highly of the coach. But I think for the most part, if you're a mid-major and you got a sophomore averaging 20 points a game, he ain't coming back to your school next year.
And that's a sad thing, guys.
Yeah, that is.
But that's where we are. I mean, here, Bino, guys in mid-major programs that show promise right now are getting phone calls from the likes of Tennessee already.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just the way it is. They're going to pick those teams apart like carcasses, Bino.
Yeah, those teams are the Reds and the Pirates.
Yep.
They're just not. They're not going to keep any real good players.
No, and back in the day, like at Murray State,
they're unbeaten.
Yeah.
Two of their 2 best players are seniors, but I think that if you look a little bit closer to Miami of Ohio, their schedule's garbage. And those guys, the two seniors, I don't think they're high-level Power 5 guys. The shooter kid is scrappy, but he's 6'5", and he's not really an outside shooter. The Woolfolk kid is not bad, but can't make free throws. He is a pretty good rebounder, but, I mean, he would not start at a Power 5, high-level Power 5 team. So I think St. Louis and Miami of Ohio are the two mid-majors. You know, great game tonight. You got VCU playing St. Louis, that's must-watch TV, I think. But I think there is a concern in college basketball as well about mid-majors losing their players. Their coaches have to be even more aggressive than Power 5 coaches because they know they're going to lose a guy after 2 years if he's any good. Heck, maybe even after a freshman year if he's any good. So that means you got to find the next guy. And I think most of these mid-major coaches realize that halfway through the season, my young guy is the best player on my team. I better be looking for the next best guy on my team because this dude ain't here next year.
Hey, Hughie, Vanderbilt, who's gone the other way right now. A couple guys out. The Collins kid looks like he's not going to play. And the Miles kid, you know, his status is up in the air. But, I mean, they fought hard the other night with Missouri. Came from way back. Crazy comeback in that game. Almost had a crazy, crazy finish. That would have made Wednesday night like one of the all-time nights if they would have come back from 21 down and with under 7 minutes left in a basketball game to win a game. That would have made it one of the, and it was already an incredible night. Like the fireworks were going off on Wednesday night. But how would Vanderbilt fare, do you think, if they played like the Miami of Ohio or a St. Louis on a neutral floor? What do you think a matchup like that would look like?
Healthy, I think Vandy wins. Tyler Tanner's a good player, a really good player.
Yeah.
They also have a bunch of, in their front court is all senior.
Yeah.
And I think that makes a difference. These guys have been around. They know what's going on. I think that, Vandy's last two losses are both by a point. Now, the Oklahoma loss at home is egregiously bad. Losing to Missouri on the road by 1 without a player, that's not that bad. But I think Vandy is a well-coached team. I think they're a good team when they're fully healthy, and I think they're 8 or 9 points better than SLU or Miami of Ohio on a neutral court if everybody's there.
How do you see Tennessee tomorrow down there? Bino and I were talking before you jumped on, Bry, about what a weird deal that is when you play down there and you got to sit behind the bench or behind the goal, and the fans are right on top of you, or you're above them. I mean, that place needs. We need to give like Bin Laden the coordinates to that place, man.
I've been to a couple games there as a fan, and one game I actually sat upper deck, mid court, first row. And that might be the best basketball seat I've ever had in my life. I think it's a cool, funky court for fans. I think it's a gigantic pain in the butt for coaches and players.
Yep.
The end of court setup for the coaches has to be exceedingly frustrating for visitors. You might be at Vandy once in 3 years. So how do you get used to that? I think Vanderbilt, it doesn't bother Vandy. I think it is an advantage, a slight advantage for Vandy because the benches are at the end of the court. I think it does give Vandy an advantage over the opposing team. But as a fan, I love that gym. But as an opposing team or opposing coach especially, I would hate going there.
Abhor. And that's why tomorrow, when the Vols walk in there, and Bino, another issue with the Vols is I think that's going to be kind of like a close game tomorrow, And say we have a lead late in that deal, I don't know that I trust us to handle it, Beanstar. Can I say that out loud and not offend you?
Yes, you can say that out loud, Tony. I mean, it's been a recurring problem. I will say that the last two games, especially Oklahoma, they have closed well. That last 6 minutes against Oklahoma. Now, they let a big lead slip away for it to happen.
Yeah.
But that last 6 minutes is probably the best overall basketball that Tennessee's played all year long. But yeah, I mean, it's been a habitual problem for this team.
By the way, my friends at Gufon Moving and Storage, when it's time for your next move, you don't want to call just anybody. You want to get your precious belongings from point A to point B, and you want your peace of mind intact. Look, I mean, that's your belongings, family heirlooms, things like that. I mean, the most precious of the most precious. You know. You want some Joe Blow fly-by-nighter? You want some like national? You want some people to come in and. You know, and the crew looks like they came off the set, I don't know, of America's Most Wanted. I don't think you want that. I think you want my friends at Gufon Moving and Storage. Look, Tom, Tyler, the gang, and I shout out Taylor, the fifth generation, my boy Taylor. He was talking about Tyler, the kid from, I'll tell you what, the kid from Vandy the other night, Tom Gufon, hang on a second. How about 4 and 1s down the stretch, Hughie, to get that thing to a 1-point game? How about Vandy almost coming all the way back and winning that game? I mean, I'm telling you, college basketball is nuts right now, the runs we're seeing from these teams.
If it's a home game, it's one thing. It's a road game. It makes it more eye-opening. Let's put it that way.
Yep. No question. And when you're on the road and you come back like that, and that's why when you're playing road games or you're ready to hit the road and it's time for your next move, my friends at Gufon Moving and Storage, 138 years, shout out, Taylor, you're fifth generation. How about, let's say this, they're online at gufon.com. You can check out the link over at tclub.team, part of our couple thousand word blog today, including Griff that has a breakout. The great Mark Griffin has a breakout on Vanderbilt today, part of his Griffin's three-pointers. They are your East Tennessee moving legend, Gufon Moving and Storage. And remember, secure vaulted storage, newest offering, commercial storage logistics, receiving, storage, delivery services for all your business logistic needs. Find out more because they're taking it to the next level. As the great Mike Huguenin is with us on a Friday as he is throughout the year. And you believe we're 4 weeks out from the tournament, Hughie. Can you believe that? How fun is this going to be, man?
You get excited about the tournament, but the season, this has been a fun season, and it is. It's sort of sad that it's coming to an end, but at the same time, conference tournament week's going to be good.
Speak for yourself.
I think the NCAA tournament, the first round is going to be good, and I think that the ensuing rounds are going to be even better because there's a lot of teams this year that I think have a chance to win the title. I think Michigan is going to be the betting favorite, unquestionably, but I can look at maybe 20 other teams as going, that team could get to the Final Four.
I'll tell you this right now. This Tennessee team with this Ament guy has a high ceiling. And when you get this Gillespie guy and you get them both you both get them on the same page at the same time. And you got Rick Barnes out there who sooner or later, Bino, has got to get back to the promised land. TJ Ford took him once. How can you make the tournament, Bino, every year and not get there when you're Rick Barnes? How can you do that? How can you have Tennessee for a decade of sustained excellence like this and not get there one time, Bino? Doesn't he have to get there sooner or later, Beanstar?
I don't know about have to, Tony. I've never seen anybody in this uniform get there. So,
Hughie, isn't that amazing, though, how great Barnes has been? But here he's gotten put out in the 2 straight years.
How hard the NCAA tournament is. I mean, there's a lot of variables, obviously.
That's right.
And yeah, it's staying healthy in the tournament.
Yep.
Matchups are gigantic. I think you could argue that if you're Team A, you're thinking, okay, we're a 2 seed. We're better than anybody in our region. We know that.
Yep.
Boy, but if we get matched up against that team, or that team, we're not going to win. Because the matchups are bad. So matchups that's the most important thing. I mean, don't look at the name on the front of the jersey. Look at some of the analytics and realize my team is in deep, deep trouble against that squad because they do this so well and we're horrible at it.
It might just turn out, the Puerto Rican Willie Stargell says, Bino, that Rick Barnes will be the Moses of coaches. His program will get there, but he won't get there himself. Know what I mean, Bino? He might end up being the Moses. And Puerto Rican Willie Stargell has spoken over here on YouTube, which, Hughie, that dates back to a couple weeks back when we were talking on here, Beanstar, myself, and Brian. I gave the golden nugget that Willie Stargell is a Puerto Rican hero. Of course, he was born in Oklahoma. But anyway, as somebody found. But there we are. As Mike Huguenin joins on the program, presented by our friends at Gufon Moving and Storage. Hughie, before we get your mover of the week, because I really want to get to that mover of the week, where was I going to go? Bino, you guys distracted me. Hughie, what were you just talking about? I've distracted myself here. Puerto Rican Willie Stargell, shame on you.
Matchups in the NCAA tournament. And Rick Barnes.
And Barnesy, yeah. So I was going to ask you guys this. This came up yesterday. This is a fun little thing to think about, okay? You know, about 15 years ago, I noticed I had a bald spot in the back of my head, you know, and I did what guys do. I got the Rogaine out, and, you know, and I thought about the hair club for men and this, that, and the other. And then I shaved my head. Now I don't even realize I'm bald. I just get up every day and it is what it is. You know, at one time, Hughie, we would watch college basketball, and they would call a 3-second violation 4 or 5 times a night. And then the other day it came up on the air, and I want you guys' thoughts on this, because there are things that have disappeared from old school basketball that we don't see anymore. Hughie, when is the last time you saw a 3-second call in college basketball? Have you seen one of them this year?
Percent sure. You're right. And plus, it can be called, I think, 20 times a game.
How about a travel? How about a travel, Hughie? When's the last time you saw a travel?
Oh, last Saturday. I forget which game, but I think I saw 2 in one day. I think traveling is called far more than 3 seconds, and I think 3 seconds are far more prevalent than traveling.
Yes.
You know, the idea, you know, the palming thing.
Palming.
I made peace with that. But the 3 seconds is, I guess, if your team is front court oriented,
yeah,
the idea they don't call 3 seconds is fantastic. If your team is backcourt oriented and/or has a guy who can drive, you're like, where are the 3 second calls? Where are they? The dude's camped in there. So, the traveling. You know, the Euro steps, all that kind of stuff. I've sort of made peace with that as well. But the 3 seconds, there's a lot of uncalled 3 seconds.
Well, listen. One of our ousters from the Elite Eight, Bino, we had to sit there and watch that kid literally live in the lane, Bino, and they never called it. How are you going to beat Bob Baskerville? How are you going to beat that team when that kid is that big? And he's sitting there standing in the lane, Bino, for like 10 seconds. Now, how are you going to beat him? And obviously, they were told not to call that.
Yeah, you're not, Tony. And to be honest with you, that's the only time that I've missed that being called. I think most of the time that's a nonsense call, especially today when just about everybody plays facing the bucket. It just happened that we played against a dinosaur that was down there, Wilt Chamberlain and around. And they wouldn't get him out of the lane.
Hughie, another thing you don't see anymore, the block charge thing. You never see charges called like
the refs,
as in ever.
Refs did such a that doesn't bother me either. The refs did such a bad job with that. But the 3 seconds, that's bothersome.
What else is missing from the modern game? Can you guys think of it? Because we got on the conversation because Nate Ament has this really sweet intermediate game that he's developed where he's taken 12-footers. And most guys on most teams will not shoot that shot. That they will not take what do we call that? That's not an intermediate shot, Bino. What's the term for that? My brain is really scrambled today. What do we call that? The mid-range. The mid-range. Thank you, Bino.
You're welcome.
Hughie, the mid-range is another thing obviously we don't see because of analytics, but we're starting to see a little more of the mid-range shot. Is there anything else you guys can think of from the modern game that we used to see all the time, but you hardly ever see anymore?
Zone defense.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I can remember growing up seeing a lot of teams play zone.
Mm-hmm.
Syracuse had that matchup zone, which could be devastating.
Mm-hmm.
I think teams are afraid to play zone for more than 2 or 3 possessions in a row because teams adjust quickly and hit the three-pointer. So the idea of a zone defense, obviously the shot clock has changed some things because that's how old I am. But the 3-second call is the one that is the most bothersome.
And hand checking's no longer allowed. You put your hands on a player. Is that a good thing or a bad thing, Hughie, that they've cleaned that up? What do you think?
Playing defense with a hand check, I guess that never bothered me. But I think certain players are really good at it, and they could push you offline and that kind of stuff. So the idea that's been taken out, that's fine, I guess.
The Mover of the Week, presented by our friends at Gufon Moving and Storage. Shout out to Taylor. He's 5th generation. And shout out to Tyler, too. But shout out to Taylor. Hughie, Mover of the Week. What's going on? Who was it, Hughie? Say it again. Your phone's... I'm having trouble hearing you for the first couple seconds. Go ahead, man.
His behavior at Michigan State during and after the game, yelling at a student journalist, "Did you raise your voice to me?" Telling him that was the stupidest question I've ever been asked. It wasn't a stupid question. Plus the idea that one of his players was called for a foul, and the refs, I think, said it was flagrant, but didn't tee him up. Cronin sent the kid off the court, showed him up, which was Bush League, and then after the game in his news conference, or not in the news conference, but in the hallway answering questions, he's totally classless. He always has been. He's a short guy with a Napoleon complex.
Oh, let's go! And he's Maury's boy. And Hughie made him the Mover of the Week. Presented by our friends at Gufon Moving and Storage. And he's constantly bitching about travel. Hey, Mick Cronin, if you don't like the travel, go get another gig. Go get another gig, man.
And even back to the days at Cincinnati when he won games, he always seemed pained. And I know he's probably one of those guys who suffers losses more than he celebrates wins. But he looks, he's complaining about the Big Ten road trips. Dude, what
you signed up for it, brah. You signed up for it, brah.
Well, his school signed up for it. I have to admit, there's certain coaches. I've never interviewed Mick Cronin.
Yeah.
But I have seen him many times. It's probably he irritates me. And the other day, he really irritated me because the question wasn't that stupid. And then the idea that you're upbraiding a college kid because he tried to ask you a follow-up, and everybody was shouting, so the kid shouted as well. And it's like, Mick Cronin, you're not any kind of arbiter, so don't pretend to be one.
Oh, Hughie Love. Thank you, man. Good talking to you.
All right.
Hughie, on the way out, how much Winter Olympics you watching?
I have watched maybe 15 minutes.
The female figure skater that won last night, won the gold yesterday, is one of the great sporting events I've seen in a while. She quit skating competitively. It's an awesome story. And her going over and hugging the gal from China when she got on the podium is one of the coolest things I've ever seen. I mean, it was really cool.
I'm reading a lot about it, but I'm not watching much of it because one of the reasons is too much good college basketball, and tomorrow is incredible day.
Hughie, love you. Thank you. See, Hughie keeps it real while those others keep it plastic. And he went all in on Maury Hanks' boy. Bino, do you like stuff like that? And rather than leaving a tender moment alone, Bino, I pointed it out. Do you have a thought on that, Bino?
Yeah, Tony, that was classic. I liked the other night when you were going all in on Pat Adams, and Maury let you know he was one of his guys. And I think the best part of that Mick Cronin story was actually in the other locker room when they asked Izzo. Izzo said, "Well, I guess Mick just upgraded it to a flagrant 2."
As we come back on the other side, it is unbelievable, Andy. We have Sammy and the Ridge Edibles making an appearance in our chat today over on YouTube. We're going to continue. It is absolutely beautiful as we continue with more after this.
You're listening to FM 105.7 and AM 1340, WKGN Knoxville, and W289CU Knoxville, Fan Run Radio.
When it's time for your next move, you want to get your precious belongings from point A to point B with your peace of mind intact. That's why you need to call my friends at Gouffon Moving and Storage, East Tennessee's moving legend. Gouffon Moving and Storage has been helping East Tennesseans move since 1887. That's 138 years, 5 generations. That's even longer than the Dooley, Jones, and Pruitt era combined. Gouffon Moving and Storage are pro movers, serving Knoxville, surrounding areas, and interstate moves too, both residential and commercial. And we'll provide you with personalized service that other corporate movers simply cannot. We know how to move all types of items. We pay careful attention to our clients' valuables. Your satisfaction as a customer is our absolute priority. As the oldest continually owned and operated family moving business in the United States, when it's time for your next move, it's Gouffon Moving and Storage. And storage, it's secure and vaulted. Our newest offering of commercial storage logistics, we offer receiving, storage, and delivery services for all your business logistic needs. See more at Gouffon.com. That's Gouffon.com. Or check out the link at tclub.team. When it's time for your next move, East Tennessee's moving legend, Gouffon Moving and Storage. Life never stops moving. And between the 30-minute commutes, daycare pickups, weekly soccer practice, Tuesday night yoga, X number of coffee runs, and that weekend trip to Grandma's, you're racking up the miles. What you need is a tire that can keep up. A tire designed for doers. A tire that's going to last. Like the exceptionally long-lasting Michelin Defender tire. With an 80,000-mile warranty and the safety and comfort you expect, you can forget all about the miles ahead and focus on getting your destination or conquering your to-do list. Fleet Tire, I-275 exit 1B at East Woodland Avenue in Knoxville. That's Fleet Tire, I-275 exit 1B at East Woodland Avenue in Knoxville. Fleet Tire.
Inward Half is committed to the game and the memorable moments that happen in between. From the tee box to the tailgate, from the green to the big game. For the first birdie with Dad, the first big win with Mom. Friday night lights, Saturday superstitions, Sunday traditions. Fall into the comfort and unparalleled performance of Inward Half. This fall, enjoy the walk-in.
Are you tired of hiding your smile because of crooked teeth? At Knoxville Smiles, we've got the perfect solution. Invisalign. No metal, no wires. Just clear, comfortable aligners that straighten your teeth without anyone noticing. Eat what you want, smile with confidence, and see results in as little as 6 months. Call us today for more information about Invisalign, 865-539-1776. Or just visit us online at knoxvillesmiles.com. Smile brighter with Knoxville Smiles.
Out-of-town law firms have been swarming into East Tennessee lately. From Memphis, Chattanooga, and Birmingham, they've stormed into the area. Wouldn't you rather do business with a local firm? You know, a true neighbor. Marcos Garza and the pros at the Garza Law Firm are just that. There are neighbors and friends that support local causes year-round. The Garza Law Firm works to serve you professionally on criminal matters, injuries and accident matters, and Social Security and disability filings. The Garza Law Firm is here for you at garzalaw.com. The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Cold weather is here. Is your heating system ready and running efficiently? Don't wait to find out. A simple tune-up now can help prevent costly breakdowns when you need your heat the most. Right now, Pipe Wrench is offering a $79 heating system tune-up to keep your home warm, safe, and worry-free all winter long. Our certified technicians inspect, clean, and fine-tune every part of your heating system for maximum efficiency and comfort. helping you avoid surprise breakdowns and high energy bills. And with Pipe Wrench Home Service's same-day service guarantee, you won't be left out in the cold waiting for help. Your comfort isn't just our job, it's our promise. Schedule your $79 heating system tune-up today at pipewrench.com before winter decides to test your heater. Pipe Wrench Home Services, trusted in Knoxville, Maryville, Oak Ridge, and neighboring communities for over 20 years. And as always, same-day service guaranteed or the visit is free. For standard systems only, visit pipewrench.com for details.
TB here with Alan of WeShipFloors.com. Tell them about it, Alan.
Hey, I'm Alan from WeShipFloors.com. Our competition's prices, well, they're going up. Ours are coming down. Our waterproof floor Supercore is the best, and right now it starts at $199 a square foot. Our warehouses are full of 4mm, 6mm, and 8mm. You strapped for cash? Well, we have our own in-house financing. Use our room visualizer and order some free samples today. Supercore from WeShipFloors.com. Best products at best price.
Like Alan said, head over to WeShipFloors.com. Use the room visualizer on the website. Drop in any of the 120 Supercore floors virtually into your room and order your free samples today. WeShipFloors.com. Tennesseans, they are us. The best product, the best price. WeShipFloors.com. Living Vol fan, when it's time to get ready for 2026 and what's ahead, there's only one place. It's Alumni Hall. The best and largest selection of Tennessee apparel for the whole family. Top brands, Nike, Champion, Columbia, Peter Millar. And check this out. All the basketball stuff that the Tennessee basketball fan could ever need. Some great Tennessee baseball stuff as well. Any season, any reason. Alumni Hall, 3 locations in Knoxville. Also Murfreesboro, Bristol, and now open, of course, in Johnson City. And anytime online, alumnihall.com. Say it loud, say it proud. The ultimate volunteer shopping experience. Alumni Hall. Score a TD every time with T3 Vodka. T3 is Tennessee's premium vodka, handcrafted with passion, precision, and a whole lot of pride. T3 Vodka is taking the volunteer state by storm. T3 Vodka, handcrafted in the majesty of the foothills of the Great Smoky Mountains, where quality isn't just a promise, it's a way of life. Filtered 10 times and 80 proof, T3 Vodka delivers a smoothness that's unmatched. This dedication to excellence has already earned T3 Vodka prestigious accolades. T3 is a 5-time gold medal winning vodka and the 2025 SIPS Consumer Choice Award medal winner. Whether you're sipping it neat or on the rocks or mixing up your favorite cocktail, T3 Vodka is your choice for a premium, award-winning experience. Score a T3 TD and ask for T3 Vodka by name at restaurants and wine and liquor stores today. Drink it neat, drink it right, drink T3 Vodka and score a touchdown every time. T3, Tennessee's premium vodka. Please drink responsibly. So I was talking to Hugh and we got done about the, kind of the Winter Olympics. Today, this afternoon, the U.S. taking on a very game opponent in the semifinal. And here's the thing. Maybe as you're hearing this, and here's the thing, that's great sport. I mean, those are high-level professional hockey players out there doing their thing, but looking at that skating last night and just kind of putting yourself in the mind of those people. And I know from like our small corner of the world, performing, like in my mind, I just have a heart for performers because I've choked before. I've choked. And it's hard. Like I've choked playing music. I've choked doing this. I've choked, and it's, it's tough. Cannot imagine what it would be like to be one of these figure skaters or one of these downhill skiers, and your whole very existence has been about what you're about to do. Everything about it. It is the World Series and Super Bowl, National Championship, and the Masters all rolled into one in your discipline. And they hit that starting gate, and you got to go flying 70 miles an hour down that mountain, and don't you dare miss a gate. I can't imagine the pressure. I just can't imagine. This girl last night, or yesterday, from the U.S., she got burned out and quit skating. She's 20 years old. And she's got, like, you know, the multicolored hair and all this stuff. And she's just very free-spirited and smiling. She gave an interview afterwards, which, in light of what happened yesterday, I was just, I so needed that in light of what happened in our community yesterday. And I didn't know, like I told you before, I stay ignorant. Well, that's a cut, you know. I stay ignorant when it comes to the Olympics, so I can watch it with Laura at night, and it's kind of new to us. But she tells the interviewer after she gets done, she said, you know, I used to feel so much pressure, and now it was just such a joy to get here. She said, I wish my skate could have gone on forever. She said, I had that vibe. And I thought to myself, that's such an amazing thing to say. And then the other thing is, she was so happy for this young kid, like 15-year-old kid or 16-year-old kid skating from China, who really was not even supposed to be in that spot and went out and balled out last night and won a bronze. And I just think, I just think that, you know, in sport, we have to acknowledge how hard it must be to be in that arena. Like, Bino, think about what it must have been like to be Carson Beck in that locker room after everybody knows you're getting ready to score and win a national championship and restore Miami back to glory. But you threw that interception. Imagine what that must be like for that kid to walk off that field.
Yeah, it's you know, Tony, like you, I've choked at some point in everything that I've done.
Yeah.
And I've never has it been on a stage like those performers have to perform on, and never in something anywhere close to the Olympics. Yeah, it takes us. It just takes a special mental toughness to put yourself on that stage like that.
I mean, and these skiers, you could say what you want to say about the Winter Olympics. You don't identify with it, whatever. Okay, that's fine. I get that. I've never skied in my life, but I grew up in a cold climate. I have no desire to put a pair of skis. I'm clumsy as it is. I have trouble walking. I trip over things half the time. Laura will be screaming from the upstairs, "Are you okay?" It's like, yeah, I'm okay. I just fell down again because I'm a goofball. I cannot imagine going 70 miles an hour down a hill on a sheet of ice and having to perform. I mean, okay. And it's the biggest thing in the world to you. You know, it's like the biggest thing in the world. Which gets me back to this. So I was thinking about last night, that girl skating, and how she's a 20-year-old kid, and the pressure on her, you know. And then she says, "Oh, I just felt such freedom." And then I think about how hard it must have been to be that kicker at UT last year and keep missing those kicks and have to show up and face your teammates every day. And you saw that poor kid's body language. First of all, he's a ruddy-faced looking youngster to begin with. He's young looking. But Bino, as the season went on, it's almost like that kid started at 21 years of age, and by the time they were done, he looked like a 13-year-old kid trying to kick out there. And I hate it for him. I hate it for him.
It's just so hard, Tony. It's just so hard to live in the moment and not live either in the past or be worried about the future in anything that you do. But when failure begins to creep in, it's hard not to fear what's coming.
And I'm a real beat myself up person. I just can't imagine. I just can't imagine being one of those kids, or like Laura and I were talking, watching the parents last night, being a parent of one of those kids, or that's your brother or your sister out there. I just can't imagine what that feels like. It's got to be just so, I don't know. It's just got to be so incredible. And you know, we don't do it, you know. We don't, on the post-game show, we're very cut and dried in the moment. Screw that guy. Get another kicker. Because truly, that's what this is. I mean, that kid had a spot last year, Bino, that hundreds of kids would have aspired to be in. That's the crazy thing about these sports that we watch and enjoy.
Yeah.
There are hundreds of people that want to be in that spot. But we don't ever consider that's tough. And I just had that thought last night when I was watching that. Isn't it crazy, guys, how basketball's changed when you start thinking about the little subtle changes to it that you don't even realize that they've changed? And I'm going to tie it into baseball season. So I was told that UT is telling people that it's point of emphasis this year. They're sharing with the media that these umpires have been told to call more strikes, to widen the strike zone. Whoever decided to do that, here's what I got to say to you. Swing the damn bat. If it's close, swing the damn bat. Quit squeezing college pitchers. Quit squeezing college pitchers. I'm so glad they do that. And if it means that we endure a few more strikeouts a game and a few less runs a game, I am for it, not against it. Beanstar, what do you say to this new point of emphasis of these umpires are going to start calling a lot of things more closely?
I was not a pitcher, Tony. Screw pitchers.
Don't you hate watching all those walk zone college baseball? Yes, you do.
Yeah. I mean,
yeah.
I'd rather I'd rather it not be somebody just standing up there watching pitches. But
Brian, where are you on it? I love the fact that it's a point of emphasis now that you better swing the bat, and these teams know it.
You know, you can't do Will Helfand like that. Come on now.
Yeah, Willie. Another episode of the Starting Rotation has dropped, by the way, and it's excellent. And Kyle, Blackburn, and Matt have dropped another Middle Eight podcast. I'd encourage you to check it out as well. Two excellent podcasts that we're growing here as part of the family, the Famiglia. Bino with the screw pitchers line. Brian, what do you say? I think that's a good change for college baseball.
I think sometimes, and I love watching the product, but some of the games can drag on a little bit long. And MLB has done a nice job of getting some of their games to speed up somewhat. So I don't know if that's the answer you're looking for, but
no, it's your opinion. It's your opinion. I'm asking the living listener. When you go to a college baseball game and it turns into a 4.5-hour affair because they're out there walking everybody, swing the bat. Swing the bat. Bino's like, oh, come on. Hey, Bino, so we've got that to discuss. We've got the weekend, and are you afraid of the Vandy game, or is Tennessee get down there and take care of business? A Tennessee team that's won 7 of 8, but is going to be in a road environment tomorrow that's pretty unique, rather interesting, rather insane, if you ask me, kind of unfair. Who's your pick to click tomorrow, Bino, if it happens for the Vols? Who's your pick to click? Who goes off?
Tony, I think it's going to be I think Okpara, if he extends the play that we saw the other night, I think he can be a real issue for Vandy.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. He could out-physical them. He had it was Rocky 3 City for him. Now, he had the eye of the tiger the other night.
Yeah, that's as well as we've seen him play in a Tennessee uniform.
It's like
I thought he was really good the other night.
It's like he just got a text, that his girlfriend broke up with him or something. He was like pissed.
Yeah, he was playing angry. Mm-hmm.
I'm for it. We'll go to the phones. 865-200-5402. Bino, Major League Baseball this year. The pitch system that they're doing, the replay system, for it or against it? It's another thing I want to throw out there.
For a guy that's become anti-replay, I'm for it, Tony. I think it's a good addition, and it seems to be efficient.
That's the only thing. If you're going to do replay, the only thing I ask is I want it done within 5 seconds, which if you watch minor league ball or you watch spring training ball, and I was telling last year, I came back from spring training and saw it, and it was so instantaneous that we didn't even know what happened because a ball was called, and then it said strike on the scoreboard because somebody went like this on the top of their head and touched their head, and strike 2 seconds later. No problem with it. Question for you, Bino. Is that going to help going forward the pitcher or the batter more in Major League Baseball? Who do you think it helps more? And you better be careful the way you answer this, or you're going to get a series of angry texts from a mutual friend of ours, Bino, is going to cuss you a blue streak.
I know they're monitoring. I have no idea, Tony. I think it's going to help guys like Judge who get that shoe top strike called on them a whole lot.
Judge guy.
I don't know about people with normal strike zones.
Just freaking Judge. How did you tie that back into Judge, Bino? And take a side. I think it helps. I
don't know. I don't know, Tony, until I see it. I don't know who it's going to help.
To the phones we go. 865-200-5402. I think it helps the pitcher. It's going to help the pitcher more. I think the pitchers get more stuff called than don't. Now, would Greg Maddux have still been in the Hall of Fame if you had this? Interesting. Let's go to the phone.
He would have figured a way.
He would have figured a way. But you know what? It's got to be.
I think it's going to help anybody that C.B. Buckner or Angel Hernandez.
Oh, my gosh. That Buckner guy. Hi, welcome in. You're on the air.
How my French compatriots doing today?
There he is. Coming loud and coming proud.
I got a couple of basketball points and some Olympic points.
Interesting.
A lot of people don't know this, but Pat Summitt hated Vandy's gym too. And I've been there, I think, about 10 times. And if you can believe it, I've been there twice when the SEC tournament was held there. And she wanted them to do what Texas did to their football field. Dig a hole, lower the court, and then the first 10 rows wouldn't be at neck-chin level. and she was big on trying to get that force. Of course, they couldn't do it.
Yeah.
Have you ever? You know, Texas did that in football. Do y'all know about that?
No.
You can talk to Jinxie about the full story. The first 5 or 6 rows at the old Texas football stadium, I'm talking about the Longhorns, they couldn't see over the bench.
Mm-hmm.
So they dug a hole, lowered the field, and all of a sudden those first few rows became the wine and cheese and shrimp seats that everybody wanted.
Wait a second. Wouldn't you have to raise the field so I could see them from field level? Why would lowering...
No, by lowering the field, you lowered the heads of all the people standing on the sidelines. So instead of being on row 1, 2 to 5...
Oh, that's right. That's counterintuitive to me. For some reason, Bino, did you get it right away, Bino, or were you like me, that it kind of tricked your brain?
I can't imagine digging a big hole there, but yeah, I could see where that would work to raise that level of seats.
So you don't like she wanted Vandy to dig a hole and put their thing deeper?
Yeah, and that way you could have the benches on the side.
Because that's their excuse. That's what they've always hid behind. Vanderbilt's never had any desire to do that. They've always been different. It's weird. They've let them get away with it for all these years. It's a tremendous advantage, obviously. And
there's other elevated courts around the country, and nobody else has the benches on the end.
Exactly.
They do that because it's an advantage to them, period.
Yep.
Yeah. So, anyhow, that could be corrected, but, that'd be something that, I don't know, the conference might have to force it. I don't know.
I like the fact, W. Len, that we care enough about Vanderbilt tomorrow, and they're enough for a rivalry that we're on here bitching about it. I'm kind of into that.
Oh, I can't stand them. I've been in there when I've had friends almost thrown out just because they're standing up cheering for us.
Did you go, W. Lynn, in 1991 when Wade Houston was here and we went on that miraculous run?
That was called Wade's Almost Miracle on Wood. Yeah, I was there. We went 3-1.
Went all the way to the finals that year, right? With a team that won 11
exactly.
games.
Could have been the miracle on wood, but it didn't quite happen.
Bino, what do you remember about that? How we almost won a championship with like an 11-win team. That was like the year that the Georgia coach, Brian, used to look like El DeBarge from back in the day. The rhythm of the night. What was his name, Brian? They came out of nowhere and won the thing.
That was Dennis Felton.
That was the
Dennis
year
Felton.
Alabama won it.
No.
91.
No. I'm talking about this guy.
Oh, that was the hurricane year when I went down there and we never got in the dome.
Boom!
That was the hurricane tornado. I'm sorry, tornado.
The year of Miracle Wood.
But anyhow,
that's what. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was also there when we were 1 win away in '84 from making the NCAA. And we missed a shot at the buzzer, and I'll never forget, Tony White was sitting at midcourt crying, and Charles Barkley went over to console him. We lost 60-58.
Always loved Charles Barkley, man. Always loved him.
Moving on to the despair of the Lady Vols, if we finish 0-3, we go 8-8 in the conference. We're 16-12. If we lose that, we're 16-13. But we may do something that's never been done in history. We'll have lost to all 4 number 1 seeds, that's 0-4, and all 4 number 2 seeds, that's 0-8. Look at the rankings now. We'll have played all top 8 teams and lost.
Hey, she gets a lot of credit for that tremendous schedule they've played. I mean, going to UCLA, taking on Connecticut up there, I mean, they get a lot of credit for that. But that is what Pat Summitt built the gig on. And if you don't want the gig, because that's the schedule you're going to play when you take this gig, W. Lynn.
Exactly. I'm all for it. And like Brian said, at 16-13, because of who we are, we might get in.
Yes.
But moving on to the Olympics, I want to congratulate the women's hockey gold. I watched that game. It was wonderful. And I want to congratulate who's kind of become my sports daughter, my adopted daughter, Michaela Schifrin, who won a gold. And the fact that she lost her dad 6 years ago, who fell off the roof, it was just so tragic. I don't know if you know about all that or not.
No, that's sad.
And he died in her arms. I mean, fell off the roof working. And so she's a great kid, and I'm just glad. But another thing about the Olympics, Tony, I'm like you. I was kind of wondering why they're not playing our men's hockey games at prime time. A 7 p.m. game here would be 1 a.m. Italy.
I don't care about them. I care about us. What would Greg Sankey do, Bino? What would Greg Sankey do? Would we be having 1 a.m. face-offs if Greg Sankey was in charge, Bino? Do you think they care? You think the SEC cares, Bino? If they could make money at 1 a.m., would they have a tip-off at 1 a.m., Bino?
They'd play whenever the Big Ten baited them into it.
Hell yeah.
But see, the committee sites, the people that host these Olympics don't do that. I mean, they're not going to cater just to America. But I looked at that, and I'd be all for it being at 7 p.m., but it'd be 1 a.m. their time, and I don't know how much money they'd lose by nobody being there. But I think this thing would still be packed.
I totally agree. They ought to play that. They ought to play that gold medal game. Thank you, at 1 a.m. You agree with that, Bri? You think those NHL players would like that if they said, "Hey, we want to put this thing on in prime time"? It's the whole reason we shut our league down. You guys are going to have a 1 a.m. face-off in Milano.
Well, that would give them an advantage because their opponent, unless it was Canada, it would be very late for them. They wouldn't be used to playing at that hour.
Commissioner Bockwinkel's got an idea, Bino, and Commissioner Bockwinkel's had a pretty, shall we say, prominent week on here. But there's a poster identifying themselves. It can't be the real Commissioner Bockwinkel. Next year, when they bulldoze Oilers Stadium in Nashville, they ought to take that. They ought to take that bulldozer and go down there and run over Memorial Gym too.
Yeah, I'm for it.
Wrecking ball. Get some wrecking ball for all your funky body art that you want off your body. Wrecking ball. Does that work, Bri? In terms of removing tattoos, that wrecking ball product?
I have no experience because I've never had a tattoo and will never get one either. So,
Brian, I saw that.
I have no idea.
Brian,
You're asking the wrong guy.
Brian, I saw that bumblebee on your ankle. You don't have to lie about it. I know you have a bumblebee on your ankle.
That's never happened. Will never happen.
865-200-5402 is the numero uno. Bino, I'm my little facial hair thing I'm trying to grow here, it's not coming in very well. Laura looked at it and said, again, what are we trying to do? Adams compared me to Josh Heupel the other day. It just doesn't look. I'm thinking about tattooing it, Bino. I'm thinking about going the Mike Tyson route and just like.
You gonna do a chin tat?
Yeah, like a chin tat.
All right. Yeah, that'll be a first. Well, it won't be a first, but around here it will be.
We beat Vanderbilt tomorrow. Is it a boost in the rankings? I mean, the way the computers work, everything counts, obviously. It would be a great quad one win. It's a great win to get on the road. It's a credibility win. The issue the Vols have is, when it comes to where they're going to be seed line-wise, is it took their team a while to gel and grow up. And even while they were winning games, they weren't winning them in the eyes of the computer because they weren't covering spreads. And if one thing heartens me, and it's not about gambling, it's about when Ken Pom puts the line out there, okay, and you start looking at what when they talk about metrics, when you start looking at the metrics are all based on how did you perform against the line? How did you perform against that number? So early in the year, past Rick Barnes teams would just put the hammer on those teams. And this team just didn't do it. And they're paying the price for it right now. Plus, we're playing in a league that did not perform well in non-conference. That's the other thing, which is kind of interesting, Bino. It makes it difficult to make up ground and jump seed lines.
Yeah, I guess, Tony, I always think of it through the minds of a gambler and think, what the heck should that have to do with any kind of ranking whatsoever? But shouldn't it be who you beat, where you beat them, not the amount you beat them by?
Well, it's just
because someone puts some kind of formula out there that says this is what you should beat this team by.
It's just how it's done.
I think all that's nonsense.
It's just how it's done. And
I know.
By the way, someone asking, has Tony paid? We wrote a tribute to Wes in the blog today. I talked off the top, those just joining, of what a terrible, awful loss that is, not only for our local sports community and those that enjoy Tennessee coverage, but just it's a human tragedy. He's a really solid person in our local community, active in things. And he's just, Wes Rucker's one of those characters that makes East Tennessee. One of those unique people. And then it rips my heart out. It just rips my heart out thinking about a child about to be born and this young boy and what their world is like today. So, condolences to his family, his friends, anybody that worked with him. On that note, brief timeout, and more on the other side as we come back on a Friday after this. Are you currently a residential electrician? Would you like more benefits, better pay, more upside? What about a $3,000 signing bonus? Free company-paid health insurance, annual profit share, company vehicle, gas card, much more. Call Advent Electric today. Advent, known for their large commercial jobs around town, and due to high demand, they're adding additional roles for their residential department. Maybe you know a friend, family member that's a residential electrician. Spread the word. Email hr@adventelectric.com. hr@adventelectric.com. 865-588-0631 and ask for the Tony B 3K signing bonus. Advent Electric is hiring. You got to dream about buying some land and building on that land. Well, Waterside Contracting is your ticket. 25 years of making dreams come true, Michael Scott. For hundreds in our area, custom homes or remodels, Waterside Contracting will build on your lot. They do incredible work all over the area. Structural integrity, quality without compromise. It's a way of life with Waterside Contracting. Check out the wonderful work Waterside does. WatersideContractingLLC.com. When it's time for your dreams to come true. Quality without compromising. Waterside Contracting.
College football fans, Chris Fowler here with the play call. This season, go for Dose with ice-cold refreshing Dos Equis. It's more than a single play. It's a mindset. Think of it as a 2-point conversion for real life. Taking the risk, making the bold move. Whenever we get the chance to go big, we take it. On the field and off, always go for Dose with Dos Equis.
Enjoy Dos Equis responsibly. Copyright 2024 Dos Equis Lager Especial Beer. Imported by Cervezas Mexicanas, White Plains, New York.
Hi, I'm Jim Simpson, owner of Simpson Meats. When's the last time you grilled a really good burger or steak? One your friends still talk about. Our goal at Simpson Meats is to make that happen every time you have a cookout. All of our cuts of meats, steaks, burgers, briskets, and pork are always fresh, flavorful, and sustainably sourced. We are family owned, so we know the importance of knowing how and where your food is raised. We have been putting quality first since 1888. Visit our butcher shop off Lovell Road or online at simpsonmeats.com.
Tony Basilio along with the great Mark Griffin. And we're here to talk about our friends at Performance Medicine. And Griff, their slogan, stay educated, stay healthy. That's you.
Wow. I really like to think that, Tony, and I'd like to give Dr. Rogers a lot of credit because I definitely want to stay educated and healthy, and knowing that he's putting the time and effort in to make sure of my care, I want to encourage your listeners to put the time to learn and become educated and get to know Dr. Rogers and see if it can help with your health as well.
And there's a really, really easy way to do that. In fact, they've got their own YouTube channel. You can see Dr. Rogers for himself with his staff. It's called The Performance Medicine Show over at the Performance Medicine channel over on YouTube. Also, more information at performancemedicine.net. To our friends in North Knoxville, a brand new location over in Fountain City, now accepting patients. So many ways to reach Dr. Rogers. And like they say, stay educated, stay healthy. Performance Medicine, online, performancemedicine.net.
Located in Knoxville's historic Old City, Barley's offers great food, live music, the best draft beer selection in town, and now your new favorite place to watch sports. Their indoor projector is perfect for any weather, and they've revamped their upstairs area with more TVs to take in all of the action. Their menu features hand-battered chicken tenders, juicy burgers, fresh salads, and the tastiest pizza in Knoxville. You can enjoy their happy hour drink specials daily from open until 6 p.m. Barley's Tap Room and Pizzeria.
Basilio here with my buddy, Connexio Kristen.
Hey Tony, good to see ya. Connexio builds fleet technology that helps transportation and logistics companies win big. Live GPS, easy ELD and compliance tools, AI dash cameras, and asset tracking, all backed by the #1 U.S. customer support team. Want a better playbook for your operations? Visit Connexio.com/Tony. That's KONEXIAL.com/Tony. Connexio, built for drivers, trusted by fleets, and proud Vol fans.
Tony Basilio here, and I got the great Chad Stockton of FC Alliance 2026. Chad, do you believe we've made it?
Boys and girls teams start off the new year at big national event showcases. We got our younger kids training indoors and doing a lot of things to get better. So we're excited about what the future holds.
Chad, I hear the juice behind you. I hear the kids. Your program reaches throughout East Tennessee. If folks want to get involved, what's the advice?
We're easy to get in touch with. We offer players at all ages, all levels, all experience. We have a program for all of our kids that we have, and we're excited for anyone to join us.
And even some Lady Vols as well. Several college players all over the country, yes?
Absolutely. We had a lot of girls that we were able to watch play in the NCAA tournament. A lot of our former players made big runs through the tournament. We're so excited for them.
Growing the beautiful game. In this, the year of the World Cup in North America, celebrate the beautiful game. Get your child involved. FCAllianceKnox.org. That's FCAllianceKnox.org. And Chad, thank you, man. Keep growing the beautiful game.
Absolutely, Tony, and thank you very much.
Preparing food for a big gathering can really take it out of you. That's why you need to call Calhoun's and check out their selection of party platters. Whether you're hosting a party for the big game, a reunion, or just an everyday gathering, a Calhoun's party platter is next level. Choose from Calhoun's always excellent chicken tenders, fly with Calhoun's wings, or boneless wings with a variety of dipping sauces, award-winning next-level melt-in-your-mouth barbecue ribs, or delicious spinach artichoke dip, or get one of each. Plus, if you're doing burgers or sandwiches, Calhoun's has lots of side dishes like spinach Maria, baked cinnamon apples, Smoky Mountain baked beans, or creamy coleslaw. Available in pints, quarts, and gallons. And to finish things off, pick up one of Calhoun's great desserts to go, including homemade cheesecake or key lime pie. Calhoun's, simply your go-to party headquarters. With 9 locations all over East Tennessee, you can order online and just pick it up. Calhoun's, one of the Copper Cellar family of restaurants, along with Chesapeake's, Copper Cellar, Corner 16, Cherokee Grill, and Smoky Mountain Brewery. Eat local, eat good.
From the sunrise over the Smokies to the Saturday cheers at Neyland Stadium, Knoxville isn't just where we live, it's home. But let's be honest, finding your perfect spot in a hot market can feel like a full-time job. Whether you're looking for a Craftsman in 4th and Gill, a family home in Farragut, or a view in South Knox, the market moves fast. You need more than a listing. You need an edge. And that's where I come in, Jennifer Morris with Keller Williams Realty. And I specialize in helping Knoxville buyers win. I don't just find houses, I find the right fit for your budget and your lifestyle. Ready to unlock your front door? Visit nextmovesmokymountains.com or call me at 865-694-5904. That's nextmovesmokymountains.com. And as always, go Vols.
Love the great Jennifer Morris. We're so blessed to have such a wonderful family of sponsors. And on that note, I'm going to go sit down and go see one. So we're not going to do an extended overtime segment because I've got a previously scheduled. How rude of me not to have the cord all the way plugged in there, which caused static for you. I apologize for that. But we will not have an extended overtime segment for that reason. So let's go back to the phones without further ado. Lots of stuff up for grabs to talk about, including tomorrow's, what I think is going to be a really difficult game to win at Vanderbilt. And I realize Vanderbilt's gone in the other direction, and I realize that no Collins probably for the rest of the year for them. And then Miles, that situation, it looks like they're just going to get him healthy. I do want to shout out Will Heflin. People are wondering about our baseball talk. Will has just dropped his second episode of the Starting Rotation, his baseball podcast. And a couple of you have reached out to me about wanting to sponsor. If you want to sponsor some of our baseball content, please email me, commonfan@gmail.com. A couple people have. I'm going to come back to you. It's just been nutty doing all these shows, and Laura and I are in the middle of something as well, and so we just had a lot going on. So Will Heflin's podcast is really, really good. Really good. Going into the nooks and crannies from his perspective on this team that he's extremely high on, with a new regime, all the moving parts that are entailed there. I thought last weekend this team played extremely clean baseball for right off the jump. And they're going to take on a pretty talented team this weekend, certainly a step up in competition from what they saw last weekend, who hasn't really had the opportunity to be outside much due to the climate that they're in. I mean, you imagine, if it was that miserable here in the winter, you imagine what it's like being there in the winter. As we get our next call in, hello and welcome. You're on the air.
Hey, Tony, Bobby.
Hey, welcome in, brother.
Hey, thank you. Hey, man, I think it's really cool honoring Wes today on your show. I just wanted you to know that. I've had the privilege of knowing Wes for over 30 years. We played baseball with each other and against each other when we were kids. Graduated our high school and college at the same time. He was a good guy. We never fell out on the same side of an argument almost ever, and yet he was civil, he was friendly, he was kind, he was always there for a handshake and a what's up. And it's a damn shame. It's hard to believe that somebody my age has passed away like that. It's just and the way he went was awful, and I feel so sorry for Lauren and their son Hank, who's been through a lot. I don't know if you know his story, but he's been through a lot as well. And their baby on the way. It's just unbelievable. It is entirely gutting. And I just wanted to send out that I'm just going to miss him. I thought this market won't feel the same for a radio guy or a person that takes in a lot of content. You know what I mean?
Well, and the thing about Wes is, you know, kind of like you, I didn't fall on his sides of a lot of arguments, but the thing that I always liked about him is he was never afraid to mix it up. Like you're talking about, and he never became like, if I was in the third hour, I would say this in a different way, but he was never hateful. No. I mean, he would disagree with you, but he was never hateful. He didn't walk around with a lot of animosity. He wasn't like a look at me person. He was more of a look at us person. And he loved loved what he did, and he loved this place, and he loved
And
his
he
family.
loved his family.
That's right. That's right.
And that's if there's something we can all take away, man. After that, I'm going to encourage everybody go do what Wes would have done. Wes was a big Cubs fan. It's the one thing we had in common, and I'll tell you right now, he would be going to the ball game today if he had a chance.
Oh yeah.
Number one, he'd probably be writing it, but number two, it's perfect day out. Take your kids and go to the ballpark and love on them, and do it in Wes's honor, guys. I hope you have a great weekend, and I think Tennessee's winning tomorrow. Take care.
Thank you. Matt Dixon yesterday was talking about. We were talking last night when the news happened, and he said, I saw Wes at the ball game over the weekend, last time I saw him. And Wes is a guy that started Matt in the business at the Chattanooga Times Free Press. And Matt said, the last time I saw him, he said, I said, where are you going? He said, I'm going to go over and cover the basketball. He said, Wes was doing double duty. So it's he's a guy that just he loved the place, loved our community, loved being a part of it, loved mixing it up, enjoyed what he did, was very passionate about it. He and I would fall on a lot of on different sides on a lot of things, but very sweet guy, very good guy. Very, 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 very much a hole in our community without him. That is, it's unspeakably sad is what it is. What occurred. It's just unspeakably sad. And it's just gutting. It's just gutting. Think about his family. And Roberto and I both said at the same time he loves his family. That was the thing we both said. So it's extremely sad. So 865-200-5402 if you want to get in the hunt and in the mix with us, and in the mix and in the hunt. And by the way, all lines are currently open, so if you want to get in, opportunity for you to jump in. We'll do a little overtime here. But Bino, it's not often that I'm kind of like speechless or at a loss for words. Today I've lost my train of thought 3 or 4 times from this. I just haven't been able to. I told Hugan at one point, what were you just talking about? And I generally do not do that on the air. Because I come in here generally pretty caffeinated, whether I'm well rested or not. I come in here pretty caffeinated, pretty full of adrenaline, and pretty, and usually prepared to perform and get after it and go at a high level. But today, man, it has just been so hard to, I don't even know what the word is, to concentrate. Strange.
Yeah, Tony. I mean, I thought Roberto had a wonderful tribute as a guy who knew Wes well.
Yep.
I thought all that was really well said. And whether you knew Wes or not, there's a brotherhood in kind of what we do here. And you've lost a member of that brotherhood and a young member and a young family, man. It's just, I mean, there are no words. There are just no words to describe the devastation of that. And there's no other way to react to it other than, wonder why.
Amen. Amen. And the reasons why, the reasons why are things that we'll never, and I mean, as a person of faith, if I were to tell you that something like that, when it occurs around me, doesn't shake my faith, I'm lying to you.
Yeah.
Because I'm a human being, And by the way, I don't have all the answers. I don't even pretend to have the answers.
A lot of things we're incapable of understanding, Tony.
Yep. But I think that's well put.
There's been so much death surround me and us, especially in the last couple of weeks. And I heard the Living Years by Mike and the Mechanics the other day. And I just got to thinking just how wise the lyrics of that song are. And I encourage anybody to kind of listen to them. See if we can get ourselves kind of back on track. Quit worrying about things you shouldn't worry about. Quit fighting battles that aren't real battles.
Yeah, I know of a couple certain situations, people I know who they weren't speaking at the end of their lives,
Yeah.
And it's too late. It's too late to go back and say, hey, man, I love you.
That's right.
Which is the essence of that song. And it's also the essence of that song is there's a lyric in there that says you can listen as well as you hear. That's that's pretty powerful. That's pretty powerful. So let's go ahead without further ado and jump back to our phones. It's just a day that's, I don't know, just very heavy. And to Bino's point, in what we do, whatever this is, what we're doing, but in our local sports community, like I've had people say, man, I'm so glad so-and-so got fired. And I'm like, I'm not. And they go, yeah, but that's a competitor. I'm like, first of all, that whole thing about competing, we're all in this together, and we're all in this together against the man. That's the first thing. The second, because the man doesn't care. The man doesn't care about you, your family, whether you make it or not. The big corporations. That's why I'm so glad I'm out of that. They don't care. They just chew you up. And then, because Bino's been around me, when people come around, they're like, yeah, so-and-so got let go by whatever. And you're like, yeah, and I always look at people and I'm like, well, so-and-so has a family. And by the way, I've been there before. I've done that, and I have the T-shirt. And it doesn't glean. It doesn't. I don't glean any glee from that. So, well put, Bino. We'll go back to our phones here. I am going to turn it over to William Pattison and the Playbook, who's a great man in his own right. And he's going to have you. It's going to be absolutely next level. I do want to remind you, tomorrow when the game ends, we'll be live. Mario will be with us as part of our all-star panel after the game. And maybe he can come to the defense of Mick Cronin tomorrow, who got the mover of the week by Goofon Moving and Storage. Maybe we can have the retort of the week presented by Marcos Garza and the Garza Law Firm. Mario will be on here defending another one of his boys after I went all in on Pat Adams the other night, which was very next level.
Hugon's a big Cronin fan.
And I'm a big Pat Adams fan, so touche. The Playbook with William Pattison. Here we go.
You're listening to FM 105.7 and AM 1340, WKGN Knoxville, and W289CU Knoxville, Fan Run Radio.
And for the rest of us, we stay here and kick it around. Let's get our next call in. Weekend rotation's already been dropped. If you go and look at where we publish our podcast, if you go on the website, it's there. If you go up on YouTube, it's up on our YouTube channel, the video portion of that. But the weekend rotation is published on Thursdays in honor of the weekend. And when we get into SEC series that begin on Thursdays, it'll be published on Wednesdays. Brian, how many? Do you know offhand, Brian, how many Thursday series we have this year? Any idea? We have a couple,
I think
right?
there's at least 2 of them. I know the last series of the regular season is always Thursday through Saturday for everybody because the SEC tournament begins the following Tuesday. But at least 2, I think.
Okay.
There might be 3.
All right. Alex is telling me it's not up on YouTube. Okay. Yeah, it should be. If it's not there. I want to encourage you to go claim your VIP play welcome bonus. It's a full college sports weekend. Brian, what do you think the line will be in the Vandy game?
I saw yesterday a line that had Vandy favored by 3.5.
All right,
which
Bino.
is not overwhelming.
Vandy's favored by 3.5. What are you playing, Bino, if you had to play something?
I think I would probably play Tennessee anything above 3.
Agree with that. I'm taking the Vols plus the points, and maybe as a live dog by the time I get done this show today. I have given out some wieners, wiener, chicken dinner this week. But your VIP play welcome bonus, you get $100 in bonus bets when you put $20 down. And everybody gets treated like a VIP over at VIP Play. You put the promo code in, T. Antoni. It continues to help us do what we're doing, and I thank you for doing that. They're live always with 200-plus leagues, numerous bet types, props, options. Obviously, the Olympics going on. That's something cool to kind of wager on and fun. All kinds of European kickball, that sort of thing. Golf as well. Mixed martial arts. How do we like our martial arts? We like them mixed. But they've got numerous bet types, props, options. If you have a bet in mind and you don't find it at your book, VIP Play will be happy to do it for you if it's compliant in the state of Tennessee, where everybody gets treated like a VIP. And if you have a gambling problem, 800-889-9789. 21 and over, located in the great state of Tennessee to place a bet. We go back to the phones.
Okay, VIP Play has Tennessee plus 2.5. And there are 2 SEC baseball series that start on Thursday for the Vols. The Alabama series in late April and the Oklahoma series, which closes out the regular season.
And let's Phrygian go, Brian. And when is our first SEC series of the year?
That would be against Georgia on the road, March 13th through the 15th. That's a Friday through a Sunday.
Let's Phrygian go, Bino. And when is the SEC tournament, Brian? What weekend?
That would be, SEC tournament May 19th through the 24th, Tuesday through Sunday.
Back to the phones we go. Hello and welcome in. You're on the air.
Hey, Tony. Greg with you. How you doing, brother?
Hey, Greg. Welcome in. A beautiful Columbia.
Hey, I hate the news I heard out of Knoxville today. I tell you, I didn't know him personally, but several years ago I followed him, started following him, and enjoyed what he put out, enjoyed the read, and enjoyed, hearing what he had to say about different things going on, whatever it was. That is so tragic. What he went through with his son, many surgeries he had, and his life years ago, I didn't realize it, but he had a stroke years ago and had to learn to re-walk. I mean, I didn't even know that till today. Had never heard that, but man, I tell you, that was a shock for me for sure. And I send my prayers and thoughts and love to his family and friends. Terrible. I did want to echo something Hughie said earlier today on your show, and he talked about something, probably what I'm going to say, because I preached about it for the last couple of years is the 3-second call never being made. That how in the world in anybody's eye view of watching the game of basketball with rules and regulations believe that's something you shouldn't worry about? Because a guy can spend all his time in the paint. I mean, to get edges on getting his team an offensive rebound. It's not fair. And matter of fact, it was crazy. I never had that call during a game. I did until the other day. I had 2 in one game. And I was kind of laughing about it because it never happened before. But anyway, I just was echoing what he said and agreeing exactly what he had talked about.
It's all disappeared, hadn't it? They don't even call it anymore. They don't even pretend like they're going to call it.
And that's stupid because it gives a team an edge that shouldn't have one.
Mm-hmm.
They shouldn't be able. But before I get off of here, I saw this lady, and you guys might have watched America's Got Talent before. There was a young lady that was on there within the last year or two, and you might have seen the video before. I think she went by Nightbird, and she did a song. And they got to talking to her and found out she had cancer and was living with it at the time she was on stage. And she put something out. She told something. She made a statement that I wrote this down, and I think everybody needs to write this down. If you'll let me read it for a second.
Sure.
It's not that long. He said, she talked, Simon said something to her and about what she was dealing with. Says, you seem so cheerful and all that. She says, you can't wait until life isn't easy, or isn't hard. Let me start this over. You can't wait until life isn't hard anymore before you decide to be happy. And that's perfect. With what we all go through every day.
Thank you, my man. Good talking to you. You're good people, brother. Thank you. On the passing of Wes Rucker, Rick Barnes said the following: we're going to miss him dearly. He loved what he did, and he loved his family. Amen. Back to the phones we go. And Greg, well put, man. Thanks for sharing your perspective with us today. Hello, welcome in. You're on the air.
Hey, Tone, it's Leva.
Hey, Lee. Welcome in, buddy.
Man, I was going to touch on like a couple quick basketball things.
Sure.
You guys did bring up the balls and strikes thing in baseball this year.
Yeah.
I think this really helps the batter a ton. I think a lot of these pitchers that sort of live in the gray area that sort of rely on really good pitch framing, I think that those are the guys that I think are going to have a harder time adapting to it. Especially in the majors, man, you got these are the best hitters in the world, man, and they're so locked in and they know exactly what the zone is. And when you've got to come to them, I think it helps those guys out a lot more with the bat in your hand.
It's an interesting thought because I've got a dear friend of mine who thinks it's really going to help the pitchers, and he's really convinced me of that. But you might be right. Bino, Lee might be right here. It might help the batters because now all of a sudden, I guess it depends on what strike zone they're going to use, Bino. Because if they use that box and you can get away with high strikes, Beanstar, I don't know how it's going to play out.
Yeah, I think it's going to be interesting to see how this comes in after we see a year of it, Tony.
Yep.
And Darren's obviously forgotten more about this than I ever know. But I also think it's probably going to be umpire reliant because there are pitchers umpires and there are hitters umpires.
Interesting.
Yeah, Yeah, I mean, I've spent a lot of time trying to figure this out because baseball is like the only sport that I use where I actually will like run a model to get percentages. Like, I can't eyeball like a baseball game and be like, oh, this team should be plus 132 instead of plus 146. Like, I do need a model to like help me with that. But in adjusting it and calibrating it and setting it up this year with these new rules, like, I think there's going to be more walks with pitchers. Like, at least that's what I think. So it's trial and error, but I'm really interested to see how it plays out. I am very much for it though, because you don't even notice it half the time, but.
Yeah, well, you go to a minor league game where they've been doing it, you don't even notice it. They need to put it.
No.
Berkey's been saying they need to put it in college baseball for years. And he's right.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, the first time I went to a minor league game, I didn't even know that it was going on until like the seventh inning.
Yep.
And they had already challenged like 6 calls, and I didn't even know.
Yep.
So, yeah. Huguenin, cracking on my guy Cronin, man. I know Cronin's a jerk, but come on. Like, guys like Cronin are great for college basketball. Like, we need these characters, man. I don't want the same old stale, like, cookie cutter coaches that, like, it seems like we've been getting coming into the sport for the last few years. Like, I kind of like it. Like, I like the Dan Hurleys and the Mick Cronin.
I agree with you.
I know they're jerks.
I like those acerbic, bitter, mean. It's a basketball tradition, man, to be acerbic and mean and bitter.
It's just, I think it's great. Like, we were talking to my dad the other day about old, like, SEC basketball coaches, like with the Wimp Sandersons and the Dale Browns and the Hugh Durhams and all those guys. Like,
yep.
I remember those guys when I was a kid. Like, they all had, like, personality, and there was just something about them. Now it seems like they're all kind of the same. But
well, they're all businessmen now, you know? They're all businessmen. Yeah.
Yeah. Vandy doesn't play in a gym. They play in some type of concocted parking garage. That's like I don't even know what that thing is. I've been in it like 20 times. It makes no sense. Like the hallways, I still don't think there's a bathroom in the place. Like, I'm always afraid something's going to cave in as soon as I walk in the building, no matter where I'm at in the building.
But, you know, it does feel like Esterbrook Hall over there when it was in its final days. It does feel like one of those old buildings on UT's old main campus. It really does.
Well, I mean, usually if Memorial is in the name, it either needs to be a historical site or it needs to be raised because it's too dang old.
There's about 6 college football stadiums that are still Memorial College or Memorial something, and then that's exactly right.
They're dumps if they got Memorial in their name.
That's exactly right.
I don't know about that, Bino. How about Veterans Memorial Stadium in Philadelphia? Nobody's ever called that a dump.
Oh, no. No, no one's ever thought of that as a dump.
That was a Taj Mahal of the East Coast. Yeah.
Yes, it was a Taj Mahal. It was Yankee Stadium itself, really, before it was Yankee Stadium.
But the last thing I was going to say, too, going back to Hughie, you're talking about, like, the mid-majors. Yeah, it's going to be hard for mid-majors to make long runs, man, in these tournaments. I don't consider St. Louis this year a mid-major. And they could certainly make a run, but outside of them, it's really difficult to see. Like, you could see 1 or 2. I think you could see maybe 2 or 3 upsets at the most, like the first weekend.
Yeah.
And I know some people don't like it. Like, I'm not crazy about it, but I think that's just the way it's going to be until we get some kind of guardrails in place that can even out some stuff. But what it does do is it sets up one hell of a round of like that second weekend. Like, we could be looking at like an epic second weekend of college basketball in that tournament.
Oh, if it chalks out this year, that's going to be wild. That's going to be like watching this hockey tournament. It's going to be best on best, man, with a bunch of stars on the floor.
Yeah, it'll be insane college basketball if it happens. But yeah, anyway, yeah, I like Tennessee's chances tomorrow. I don't think Vandy's kind of turning in the right direction here. I think not having Collins and Miles is huge. I know they've been without Collins for a while, but he was still important, like, defensively. With the way he set that team up with, like, the whole positionless basketball thing with, like, it's kind of a smart way to do things. Like, you're not totally relying on just one guy to be your 2 guard, one guy to be your 3 or 4. Like, everybody can kind of do different things, but man, once you lose a couple of those guys, you're still back in the same situation. And like, I think not having those guys has really hurt them. I think teams have kind of figured out Vandy's whole scheme and what they're trying to do. They're just trying to win a shot volume battle, turn you over, and they don't turn it over. But they're getting beat up on the board so bad that it's killing them, that it's not working out. So, I mean, it's a tough place to go and win. I mean, there's a reason why Tennessee's going to be an underdog to go off, but I think it's a decent matchup for Tennessee. I like the way Tennessee's trending here. I'm not buying this Vandy thing.
Thank you, Lee. I'm just not sure I trust us in a close game on the road in that environment. I'm not sure I trust our guard play down there. I mean, I wish I wasn't saying that publicly, but that's kind of my nature. So there it is. And I asked Bino earlier if that offended him, that I would utter that into a microphone, and he said, no, not really. He kind of feels my pain. You don't agree with me, though, do you, Bino?
Tony, I've been on this show so long, I'm not easily offended.
Hey, Brian, I'm trying to set my weekend up. What time's the Lady Vol game start with Oklahoma?
It's in the afternoon sometime.
Oh, no, not another one of those
probably,
afternoon
I want to
games.
say maybe 3 p.m.
Oh, boy.
It's, let's see here, 2 p.m. Eastern, ESPN.
Bino, what are you doing 4 o'clock on Sunday? Could you get near your client there that you're currently talking into?
4 o'clock on Sunday. Yes, I don't see any reason why I couldn't.
You want to do a little overtime? Hi, welcome in.
4
You're
o'clock on Sunday for the Lady Vols game.
Hi, welcome in. You're on the air.
Yes, tune
I
in.
thought you had an appointment to get to, Tone.
Oh, I'm sorry. I do, Brian, but I can still take a couple more calls. I have to be across town. I got to get in there in a half hour. Hi, welcome in. You're on the air.
Hey, Tony. It's Zach in E-Town. I'll make this quick since you got an appointment. I think that was funny what Lee just said about Memorial not having any bathrooms. Maybe that's why Vandy fans are the way they are, because they're all constipated and they need to pee real bad, and it just makes them act not right. But, Bino, you just said something a minute ago. You mentioned the song The Living Years.
Yes.
Which came out at either the end of maybe 88 or 89, right after my dad's dad had died, my grandfather. And that song used to really touch at my father, even though they had a decent relationship. It used to make him really emotional, and he always enjoyed that song. And when you mentioned it, it brought up my memory of I had checked out of UT Sports for about 6 or 7 years from like 2012 until 2018, until I started following the basketball team with Grant and Admiral, and I started listening to Tony again. And it was about a year after my own dad had passed away. And you guys got me kind of back into the land of the living. And so I just thought that was a very interesting thing. Tony, you mentioned your faith, and I'm a guy of faith. I mean, people probably may not know that, but I follow for the narrow gate, and that young man's passing, Wes, who's probably 10 years younger than me. I followed him on Twitter. He, like you said, we used to pop him, but when we'd be in a big game, sometimes I'd have to walk around the block, and I would just have to get away from the TV, and I would just look at his Twitter feed to see.
He tweeted every second.
Yeah, which I really appreciated. And what I mean to say is, Bino said it right. I want to call and just tell you all that I appreciate you guys. You got me through some hard times. Wes, helped me through games. Bino, Brian, Tony, you guys are great. And we do need to tell each other that while we're all, in the public dialogue, if that's something we believe. But I'd like to see a nice win in the bathroomless Memorial Gym. And I guess, Tony, you're probably going to get back for the USA game, which starts at, I think, 3:15. Who you picking?
I'm not even watching the Canada game right now because I want to watch it later. But tell me who won the Canada game, Bri. Did they come back?
Canada rallied in the third period to win 3-2 over Finland.
And I think that's what the U.S. will do. I think the U.S. will win a close one. The thing you're seeing here is these world teams all have world-level players on them in this tournament because they're all using professional players. And even the guys that aren't in the NHL are pretty damn good. Today's game is going to be great sport. And I'm not going to get anywhere near. I'm going to watch it tonight. I'm going to enjoy it tonight. So I'm not going to know who won. I'm going to go sit in the park and decompress. But who do you like?
Well, I mean, obviously we all want the USA Canada matchup.
Yep.
And I think USA is just rolling right now. They've got a great forecheck. Swayman looks good in goal. I've got lightning players. This one thing, all these since the NHL teams are putting players in the Olympics, there's guys that you hate because they're on, like, say, the Bruins, but now you're rooting for them because they might be playing for USA or if you're a Canadian. So, but yeah, we all want that USA Canada rematch from the Four Nations last year. And if the NHL is smart, they will build off of that and continue to just make that even more part of the game. But I just want to tell you, I appreciate you folks, and go Vols, and have a good weekend. We'll talk to you on the post game.
Thank you, brother. Yeah, and we'll be live tomorrow. Any final thoughts, guys? I do have to get to my appointment, and it is across town. And all lines are currently jammed, and I love y'all and understand this. I would stay on forever if I could, but unfortunately I can't. Go ahead, Bino.
2 quick final words here, Tony. You'll have to use my late great father's line that he always used on me when he would hide from the score of a Tennessee basketball game, and he would watch it on Channel 2, and I would come home from the game, and his line was always, "Son, mention one word about what happened in that game, and we're going to have to go to the emergency room to cut my foot out of your ass."
It's so great. Let's go.
Rest in peace, Wes, and prayers of strength and comfort for his family and his friends. Great loss.
Bri, thanks, man. I'll talk to you, Bri. Thanks, babe. Let's do this. If you're a praying person, pray with me here, and let's pray for Wes. We'll just pray silently, okay, here on the way out. And I love you, and I thank you, and I appreciate you for joining us today. Want to wish you a great weekend. Be blessed. Hug somebody you love. Talk to you tomorrow after the game. Okay, let's run it back. I'd have sat on here and hung out with you all day today. Need some fellowship. But I had to get to what I had to get to. You found Radio Free Tennessee. Your Tony Basilio show will begin momentarily. Keep it locked in right here at TonyBasilio.com and on your Tony Basilio app. And hey, do us a favor. Spread the word.